Good morning, everyone. It is 9 a.m. I will call this Regional Transportation Commission meeting to order, and we will start with the roll call. Madam Clerk.
Good morning. Ed Lawson. Alexis Hill.
Here.
Bill Thomas.
Here.
Marluz Garcia.
Here.
Adam Spear.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Now we will move into our Pledge of Allegiance. If Commissioner Garcia could lead us.
Of course. Please join me in our salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll now move into public comment. Madam Clerk.
We have a comment from Tammy Holt Steele.
Wonderful. Welcome. Hi.
Good morning.
Here, push on it hard. There you go.
Okay. Good morning. Tammy Holtstill for the record. Each one of you received an email from me, and not one of you have replied. Right now, I believe that RTC is unconstitutional. There is not one representative here on this board that the North Valleys has voted for, especially for Washoe County residents. What the other issue is, I did receive a response from Mr. Thomas saying his staff would get a hold of me. No one's gotten a hold of me regarding Lemon Drive and realigning it on a silt perm. $88 million for a 2-lane road. You know what it took for me to get in here today? Over 35 minutes. Half of it was stuck at the RTC new way to get onto the freeway. I was backed all the way up to Military Road. I've got photos. I posted it on Facebook. This board needs to be more responsive to the North Valleys. This board is wasting money where it shouldn't be wasting money. The amount of the money that was spent on surveys after surveys out there, when you've already have the information, and trying to do something that I'm not a builder, but I built an addition on my home, and I know what I had to do to build my home on silt. This is not right to the North Valleys community. This is unfair and unjust. It needs to change. It's one of the reasons I am running for Washoe County Commissioner District 5, because we need a strong voice, because people are not listening and doing their own things instead of looking at what they're doing to the community. It's appalling how people every single day have to wait 35 minutes to get onto a freeway. And then if there's an accident on the freeway, that's going to make it even worse. There's got to be a difference, and there needs to be a change. And I am looking at you guys to do that instead of wasting $88 million on something that is not right, and we're paying tax dollars. Lemon Drive has a whole bunch of potholes on it because you are ignoring it. RTC is ignoring the main Lemon Drive right now because they want this other thing up on this berm for a developer. It's time to change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carlos Elizondo Reyna.
Yes, my name is Carlos Elizondo Reyna. I had an issue with my past unit that I want to transfer to the other phone. And I called Token Transit and an email, and even I got confirmation from them they're going to get back to me. Someone is going to get back to me, and it's been 3 weeks and nobody got back to me. It seems like I don't know what's happening, but they're not responding. They just say they're doing it, but they're not doing it. And my other question, you need to have more communication on that construction, because you never know where you're going to get off. The bus driver says, let's run, this bus stop. I don't know what you're going to do next. It seems like there's no communication with the drivers. Or they say, this is my first trip, so I don't know. So it's got to be more communication because it's a hassle, you don't know where you're going to get off, and, it needs to be more communication with the construction company and the bus drivers and everything, dispatching bus drivers. And my next one is, the bus number bus number right 18 is not 318. There is something on the front right bumper, that makes a really hard, wobbling metal noise, It started little by little, but now it's getting bad. And the driver said they reported, but they haven't fixed it yet. I don't feel. Is it on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it has a really bad metal heating rubber, on the right front bumper. Yeah, really bad, really bad. It looks like a scrapped out bus. It's pretty bad, it's pretty bad shape, that bus. And the bus driver said they reported, but they haven't fixed it. And my next one is when I call customer service, the Spanish speaking, customer service woman, she always give me the wrong information. Last time I talked to Jim D, he said, I'm going to listen to a recording. She gave me every time she gave me the wrong information. I was waiting for the bus at Route 11 going to Sparks, and she told me, you just missed it, just missed it. I mean, she said, right now it's 9:20, and you just missed it, just left. I told her I've been here since 9:05, and the seats are full of, people waiting for Route 11. How could I miss it? He said he took care, he look at the record. But every single time she gave me the wrong information, I don't know what it is, comprehension, English comprehension or misunderstanding. I don't know.
Thank you, sir. We'll have staff follow up with your concerns. Thank you.
Donna Clontz.
Morning, Madam Chair and board members. My name's Donna Clontz. I live in Reno, and I do a lot of volunteering for our senior community here in the county, including being an AARP lead volunteer for a lot of different activities. So I wanted to give you all a little taste of what we've been doing all month, which is Fraud and Scam Prevention Month, among many other kinds of months that we've got going on now. So we've been, there is a list of activities that we've organized for April all over the county, including things that are happening at our senior centers, at our rec centers, at the libraries, in the parks, and so on, so that we can get our seniors out and about and involved in the community. So you've got that list as well. We do one of these every month, list of activities, and we're finding that we can create more and more as we're getting a little more help from the state AARP office. So in your bag, you have some information sheets that we've been giving out at our events to our seniors about how to prevent getting scammed, which is a really serious problem in Nevada. We're in the top 10 of our all age groups being scammed in the state of Nevada. It's just like one of those bad lists that we're right in the middle of that situation. So education and teaching folks what to watch out for. And I know our DAs and our law enforcement folks are very involved in trying to do the same thing with that. So I wanted to give you that information in the little red AARP bag. I also wanted to let you know that in May, we're going to be coming back with a group of Sun Valley seniors who really want to learn how to use the system and use the bus, the Route 5 bus that's there in Sun Valley, so that they can come to that community center where the swimming pool is, and then be able to ride the bus and or eventually have Flex Ride in Sun Valley. So we're sitting with them, we're talking with them. We want to meet with the new Susie. I don't know if that person is here in the room today, but I'd like to meet her, and have some of the RTC training folks come out to the Sun Valley group and teach them and teach all of us how things work right now and ways that we can improve it. Because right now, sometimes the way the bus route works, people have to walk half a mile. Seniors are not able to do that. And then also 3/4 of a mile away from the main routes is as far as access goes. And then we've got disabled folks that are outside that as well. So Flex makes a real difference if we could get that to be one of the next spaces that we try, Flex Ride, because Sun Valley folks really need that help. So thanks for your time and happy Fraud Prevention Month.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
No further comment.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now move to the approval of the agenda, and our, Mr. Thomas, you have some items here.
Yes, Madam Chair. There's 2 items I'd like to pull that aren't ready for action by the board today. And those are items 4.3.2 and item 4.4.5. So my request is that the board remove those from the agenda.
And 6.3. Since NDOT isn't here.
That's correct. yes.
Okay, great. Looking for a motion from the board.
So moved with the amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Looking for a second.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. And I think we need to leave. This is an alarm. We'll be coming back. We'll recess until this stops. All right. Hello, everyone, again. I will bring this Regional Transportation Commission meeting back to order, and I just want to thank Michelle and the team for working so hard to make sure we can continue to have this meeting because we have important items. So thank you so much for getting that together. And then I'm hoping that our legal counsel, Mr. Spear, can just explain why, even though some technology is down, why we can continue to have this meeting on the record. Thank you.
Chair Hill, Commissioners, the open meeting law requires an audio recording, and then it requires us to provide minutes or the audio recording. We also do video typically, but there's also an exception where if there's something out of your control and you make a good faith effort to comply with the audio recording and you can't, you can still hold the meeting as long as minutes are kept. Sounds like we're going to be able to audio record so the meeting can continue without video recording.
Thank you so much. Great news. So did we vote on the approval of the agenda, Madam Clerk? Yes. Okay. So now we will move to consent items and,
Motion and did we vote on consent? I know we had a motion and a second. We're going back 15 minutes. My memory doesn't go that far.
Maybe we should redo it.
okay, let's go back. Thank
Short-term
you.
memory loss.
So for the approval of the agenda, Mr. Thomas told us to remove 4.3.2 and 4.4.5 and 6.3. Looking for a motion?
Motion with those exceptions.
Thank you so much. Looking for a second? Thank you. And all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Hearing none. Okay, we will now move on to our consent items. And is there any board requests for additional information or an item that you'd like to pull? I'm not seeing any. I'm looking for a motion on consent.
Move to approve consent items with the exceptions noted before.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Looking for a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. It's passed unanimously again. So now we'll move into item 5. These are discussion items and presentations. 5.1. And welcome. This is a report from the RTC Director of Finance regarding fiscal year 27 increase in the index fuel taxes in Washoe County that will become effective on July 1, 2026, as required by NRS 373067 and Washoe County Code 20.43416. This is informational only.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Little strange without the slides. I'll do my best to be descriptive. These are things we've seen quite a bit. And just for reference, the items in your package are much more descriptive than what I would have given you on a slide
And the
anyway.
slides are online, right?
They are not.
But they will be?
Traditionally, but they will be. right?
Okay, great.
perfect.
Thank you.
So our first item is the fuel tax indexing. Before I jump into that, I just kind of want to remind everyone that RTC Washoe County has no independent authority on setting these rates. They are done via statute. I do confirm my work with RTC South as they use the same formulas that we do, and we came to consensus as we have in many years past. And so today really is just to present what the new rate will be applied to the FY27 fuel taxes, and then I can answer any questions about that. The way we calculate the rate is by looking back at 10 years of the producer's price index that's specific to Western states highway construction materials. So what it costs to build the road over 10 years. The reason we use a 10-year average is because we see spikes and dips in inflation year over year. A couple years ago, we had 19 and near 20% inflation, and we saw indexing rates around 4% in those times. That helps smooth it so there's not as much shock at the pump. This year, when we're looking at the 10-year average, we are at 4.71 as the 10-year rate that's going to be applied to our fuel taxes. Cents per gallon, that's 4.27 cents on your gasoline. So even though we're experiencing incredibly high fuel prices right now, little of that has to do with RTC's tax. Of course, we are part of that. We were not the ones creating the increase at the pump right now. I will note that we had a year of negative inflation fall off of the first part of that 10-year during this current cycle. And so that's why even though inflation went down this year, the rate for the 10-year PPI went up. Again, it's because of that 10-year average. So 4.27 cents per gallon, 4.71% overall increase. And any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Look into the board to see if there's any questions. Okay. Thank you very much for the explanation, and we appreciate the report. And no action is required.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And now we've got your next item, 5.2. This is to acknowledge receipt of the fiscal year 27 RTC tentative budget. Back to you.
Thank you, Chair Hill. So these items are related and intentionally brought together. There's some timing that's interesting with the Department of Taxation requirements with our tentative budget. We are required to submit by April 15th. They review it, and then we come back and bring a final budget for you folks to approve later. There is no action today as it has already been submitted, but I can certainly take input and direction to include in the next budget that will become our final budget in May. We get to an annual operating and capital budget through many incremental steps over many years. So we start at that 20-year look with the RTP. That's kind of our long-range plan of how we intend to use the funds. As we get closer into the 5-year window, we start looking at the RTIP and actually how we can deploy those projects and what funding does actually align up to them at the more recent time frame. Within a 2-year period, we start talking to local jurisdictions with the ICAs. If you have all recently seen that, that's our list of projects for the next 2 years within your jurisdiction. Once those are approved, we come back and we apply real dollars to them on an annual basis. So that's what we're doing today. We are at that final step. So the things that are included in the budget today are planned to be constructed or at least started in the next year. Several steps in the current year that go into the budget process. We have a director retreat in February where all the department heads, executive director, meet and talk about strategy implementation and how we can meet the goals based on budgeted items that have been set forth by both the board and the executive director. We then come and see you in March at the board retreat, where you give us even further direction on the strategic goals that you're trying to meet. We then incorporate those into this tentative budget, of course, in concert with our long-range planning and other items. Submit that to Department of Taxation. You see it today. Give me any input you may have, and I can adjust as needed for the May 18th budget presentation, which is a formal hearing, will require action. And then based on that, we go to the Department of Taxation where they ultimately approve our budget May 30th. The This is a little interesting without slides, but I'll do my best to describe it. Our revenues primarily come from two sources, taxes and federal funding. So fuel tax is 41% of our budget. This year, it's about $128 million. Federal funding for this year is 38%, and it's 117 million approximately. So we have a large increase in federal revenues related to projects, which I'll talk about next. Fuel tax, we expect to remain mostly flat. Due to indexing, we do get some increases in collections. But then with EVs and other efficient vehicles coming in the market, we're seeing less gallons purchased by each person. So those are kind of offsetting. So we anticipate fuel taxes to be moderate increases, but mostly flat. Sales tax was up a little bit this year. We have projected a 1% decline in that. That makes up about 15% of our budget. This year is close to $50 million. And then we have some other smaller revenue sources through the RIF program for the development fees. We do get some passenger fares to support our transit operations. We make money off of our fund balances through Washoe County's investment pool. And then we have some miscellaneous revenues from various different things like leasing our properties and things like that. Moving into the expense side, this is kind of always the case. 90% of our budget or so goes to capital and debt. Less than 10% goes to our operations. So the money that comes into RTC really goes back out into tangible things, back into our community and providing transit service as well. This year, we are deploying a significant amount of resources to capacity and other roadway improvements. To frame from last year, we were on $175 million in roadway projects. This year, we're closer to $250 million in total. We have some big projects going out. Sparks Boulevard is one of them. That's close to $70 million, primarily paid for through federal funds. So that's why we have the big increase in the federal funding there. We're also completing the Arlington Bridges project, Sierra Street bridges starting. We have the West 4th Street Safety Project. 6th Street Safety for All is a planning project, and then also a construction project. We have 2 awards going there, and then quite a bit of federal money to buy buses and other transit-related expenditures. So that's why we're seeing such a big increase, and then we've strategically saved up a fund balance to pay for those bigger projects. So you will notice our fund balance declines and goes up, declines and goes up. This year we're going down, but that's intentional to be doing those larger activities. Our ride transit cost is about 12% of our budget. I just note that we're seeing substantial increases in that due to our recent contract negotiations, parts replacement for aging buses. We are fixing that through new bus grants, but overall just the operational cost of ride is growing more than our sales taxes. The MPO operating is less than 2% of our budget. We fund that through taxes and also a transfer through NDOT as a pass-through of federal planning money. And I feel like I'm missing something here, but and our debt service is about $23 million a year. We have about $280 million outstanding on several issuances of debts from over the last several decades. Some notable projects this year. I mentioned a few of these, but the Arlington Avenue Bridges will be completing its construction here shortly. Mill Street, right outside of our door, will be completing up this summer. Sparks Boulevard is in major construction right now and will continue to be throughout the summer and hopefully into the fall. Virginia Street, we're expanding our BRT and fixing some of those bus stops down south of the Atlantis. We have 19 diesel hybrid buses that we're ordering to replace some of our battery electrics that are failing. We are completing a safety action plan as part of our planning efforts through that Safe Streets for All planning grant that we received. And of course, we're going to continue on with our neighborhood plans that come out of the active transportation program. We're also selecting an ERP this year, so that's a big endeavor for the entire agency. Our current enterprise resource system was purchased in 1999, so it's 27 years old. It's not have the functionality that we need for today's modern world. So we're exploring that. We're also doing some bus stop improvements along Dandini, McCarran, and other ADA improvements where they're necessary. So overall, our financial assessment, we always have to submit a balanced budget, so we've done that. We're in good financial condition for FY27. As I said, there's a modest sales tax decline expected around 1%. We have flat gallons of fuel sold predicted with indexing offsetting that revenue. We're still seeing population growth in the area too, which helps our fuel tax. We have lower unemployment. We remain a lean organization with 77 FTE. We're only adding one position this year. That's an engineering manager for our traffic and ITS program. And just so you know where the dollars go, last year in the community with our capital projects, now there's other employment with our ride and paratransit and all that, but just dollars in the ground. Over 2,700 jobs were created last year from RTC money, and it was about a $283 million investment in new capital. So with that, I will take any questions or suggestions.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? I just, Mr. Thomas, can we have a presentation on these bus stop improvements once we've officially approved the capital for that? Because I think it would be good to know where they're at and how we prioritize them. I really love that program.
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay. If there is, we just need to acknowledge receipt. So, Mr. Spear, do you want us to do a motion on this?
Chair Hill, this item's identified as an action item, but it is incorrectly labeled, so no action is
Okay.
required.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Great work, and looking forward to another great year of projects.
Thank you.
RTC is just doing amazing work in our community, and we're so proud of all the investments we're making.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, we're now moving on to reports. 6.1, this is a verbal update and message from RTC Executive Director, Mr. Thomas.
Madam Chair, at the board's pleasure, given the technological challenges and the unique way this meeting's going, I would prefer to move my comments to the next board meeting.
Okay.
So the consequence will be, unfortunately, from staff, because this was mostly staff acknowledgements, that they'll have to wait a month. And I'll have a little longer presentation next month. But I think in the interest of making a complex situation less complex, I'll avoid making comments.
Thank you. And to Ms. Clance's question during public comment, have we hired the new, I forgot Susie's title. Full
Okay,
title.
well, that was on my list. So while she's here, let me
Okay.
go ahead and introduce Julia. Julia, if you wouldn't mind standing.
Oh,
Julia started April 6th as our new customer experience manager. She has more than 12 years of transportation experience, including her most recent job with the Truckee North Tahoe Transportation Management Association. She has a background in public transit and customer service with a strong focus on improving rider experience and community engagement. In her new role, she manages access and flex ride services and the overall customer service program. So very proud of her joining our staff, and I think we're very lucky, and so welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much, Julia. And now Ms. Clance and other folks know who to connect with. So welcome. Thank you. Thank you both. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure. All right. With that, we'll now move to 6.2, which is a verbal update from Mr. Paul Nelson, RTC Government Affairs Officer on federal matters.
Good morning. Paul Nelson, Government Affairs Officer for RTC. Earlier this week, Commissioners Reese, Garcia, Dale Keller, and I were in Washington, D.C. for the APTA Legislative Conference. We had some pretty good meetings with our federal delegation, our senators, congressmen, and also with the FTA. Most of the things that we talked about were our earmark requests, some of the policies for the upcoming reauthorization bill, and also some of the federal funding issues that we're running into right now. So we had some pretty productive conversations, and we're hoping that that'll pay off down the road. The White House released its preliminary budget for request earlier this month, and the appropriations process is underway. The administration is seeking $300 million more for FTA formula funds, but it's also including additional funding for Bridge Investment Program, rail crossing elimination program, and infra program. But it's also making cuts to the bus and bus facilities program, the low-no program, and it zeroes out the build program and cancels unobligated National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program funding. So the IIJA does expire this fall. So that means the bus and bus facilities and the low-no program will continue to be funded at about 50%, less than 50% of what the current levels are, unless the Congress can find some additional funding from outside the Highway Trust Fund. The House T&I Chairman Graves says he wants to have reauthorization ready by summer, but we're also hearing that that'll be a challenge to get it done by the time that he wants to, especially before the IIJA expires. We're hearing that it possibly could be after the election when this actually happens. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the board? Seeing none. Thank you. And thank you to Commissioner Reese and Commissioner Garcia for representing our board in DC. We really appreciate it. I know those are tough trips, but thank you for doing that for the rest of the board. Okay, now we'll move to item 7, which is commissioner announcements and updates. And do we have any from the board? Seeing none. Okay. Thank you. And to Tammy Holt Still, I'm sorry that there wasn't a follow-up. We'll work on getting you that. Thank you. Now we'll move on to item 8, which is our final public comment. Madam Clerk, is there any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, thank you all for a very interesting meeting. I hope you have a great Friday. It's 10 o'clock. We are adjourned.